also had some other guitars. You had Fernandez, obviously, which you know I'm a freaking lover of, the Japanese model.
Yeah, they make great guitars.
The signature model. Then you went to Hamer for a little bit.
Yep. And, you know, I had Atomic guitars for a little bit. But mainly, I play this live, and I play a Fernandez BG model that were, they made 100 back in 1985. The first 80 were signature models, and the last 20 I actually function models, and I signed it with a Sharpie on the top. But I collect, I keep and find the original Fernandez's that people are trying to sell, and you can tell the good ones, the first 20 they made are great. And I've been taking those and doing the same thing, finding original Floyds to put on it, and setting up the way I like all of my decals and dumb stuff on it. But what I'm doing on all my guitars is every guitar I own has a built-in wireless. So I had the Nady systems for many years. I've graduated up to the Shure systems. Great. They sound great. So a little bit of routing going on here, but basically I got a cord because I'm going through a little amp for hanging with you guys today. But basically I am cordless every night, and I just can't see playing live with a cord anymore. It's just, you know, I move around and stuff. Well, they're usually left angle ones, but
you're very active on stage, so that's just a no-go.
Yeah, and I have it built in. You know, you check my tech, or, you know, Ryan, he changes batteries every night, and all the frequencies are dialed in. You could change frequencies with the Shures if you need to. But I tell you, man, this guitar is like a freaking Ferrari. You know, it does whatever I want, stays in tune. The action's great. You know, built-in wireless system. You know, I use JB Seymour Duncan JBs. Love Seymour Duncan pickups. You know, this is the original 62 Strat pickup from the guitar originally, and then the stack pop. But basically, this is my go-to axe. I got a buddy, Jim Cara, who makes copies, and we're selling copies of these that are real good replicas. He does replicas for Gene Simmons and all of his basses and stuff. And we're doing replicas of this and of the Fernandez guitars with all the stickers. He goes in and does all the nicks and everything on the ones that we sell.
I will tell you, something you don't see a lot of is these players doing the DIY, do it yourself. It's DIY, do it yourself, DIY. You know, approach this, because you think about it, you got this guitar in a box.
Yes.
You painted it with paint from your car.
Yes.
Okay?
And the rest I painted my house.
I'm going to do a black neck. Was anybody doing black necks?
I don't think
anybody thought
so.
About that.
But you know, when it's sanded down, you kind of do whatever you want.
Some other guy did that too. Took a bunch of rare parts or odd parts, put it together.
Fender has black. Yeah, everybody's doing it.
Right?
You Frankenstrat. There you
so
go.
I think you guys are about the same level right there. With
sure,
that, right?
sure.
Your own guitar iconic. It's been all this time.
Right.
Now, something about gear I want to talk to you about. Speaking of gear, I heard a rumor from a good source, a good friend of mine, that told me that when you were playing with Ozzy, Sharon gave you Randy's pedalboard, which was like this crazy steel construction with all little individual knobs on it, and it sat under your bed for a while, and then you sold it.
Yes, wow, that was back in the 80s, man. Wish I never had, but you know, I mean, money was tight back then, and someone offered me good money for it. But that was part of my payment for doing the live Speak of the Devil record, because I guess the deal was Ozzy's camp owned all of his amps and pedalboard, but Randy owned his guitars. It's a sad situation overall, just what happened and dealing with it all. But I ended up with the pedalboard and a couple of the amps. But when I came in, I brought in my Boogie Mark II Cs, and we did the whole tour with those, and I had two of them, and I started running them stereo. And my tech at the time, world famous Mark Newman tech, him and I came up with the idea of running the stereo sound, which we did a slight chorus, a rack mount chorus, through both cabinets, both heads, and we had a little delay unit with that 8 to 10 millisecond delay on that delay. So basically the sound you're hearing on Speak of the Devil, the live Ozzy record that I did with him, doing all the Black Sabbath material, is that sound. And it was pretty big back then, the sound. I got a lot of compliments on it from players. But you know, I play now with Night Ranger, with Kerry playing. I go mono, that straight mono, because we got two guitar players. But that was today, the Mark II-C Boogies, man. Greatest amp ever. Thanks, Randy.
You do that too. Well, he's talking about that. We got to get into that, because you know, I know a lot about your history with that. You told a lot of stories about your history with that, with Ozzy. But if we don't talk about it, people are going to freak out. So we almost have to talk about it a little bit. 18 songs, 2 days. You flew out.
I had 4 days. It wasn't 2 days. It was 4 days.
Okay, well, you got it was 4 days. You had to watch the Guitar Player Before, which was, gosh, what was that? I'm forgetting his name now. There was a guitar player before you, and his name was
Randy Rhoads.
But
for me?
Randy.
Oh, Bernie Torme.
Bernie Torme, right?
Bernie Torme came in right after.
Right.
So basically,
you watch him, like,
Randy
shows.
tragically passed, and they, wanted to keep the tour going, so they brought in Bernie, and Bernie passed away this last year too. So God rest his soul too. But and so when they flew me out, basically what it came down to, I'm at home playing with the Alameda All Stars, a band that I put together just to keep myself busy while Night Ranger was trying to get a record deal. Right around 1980, been playing around, and then Ozzy came out, and we were playing Crazy Train and a couple other songs from Ozzy and Randy, the first two records. And so we're doing these gigs 4 nights a week around clubs in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I'm driving, bringing my equipment up to the Lucky Lion in the Oakland Hills, this cool little club we played. And I heard on the radio that Randy got in a plane crash and tragically passed. And I pulled over my truck. It's like, oh my gosh, because I just saw him the year before at the Day in the Green in 1981. I was blown away, and the whole, loved the music, loved the songs, and loved his playing. And so I pulled over and thought, oh my God, how tragic. And I pulled up the gig, and we played that night and played a couple of the Randy songs, and I was like, wow. And then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, God, who's going to replace him? And I thought, all these great guitar players in the world, someone big's going to get that gig, right? And 2 weeks went by, and early Sunday morning, I was up really late. And that morning, I get a call about 8 in the morning, San Francisco time, and there's this lady on the phone who says, hello, Bradley, it's Sharon Arden. That was her maiden name. Managing Ozzy Osbourne, we'd like to fly you to New York for an audition. And I kind of went, come on, who is this? She goes, well, this guy gets on and goes, hello, Bradley. This is Ozzy. And my father was a pilot. When my father flew to the East Coast, there would be a delay in the phone. And I heard that delay, and I freaked out. I went, oh my gosh, this is really happening. Bradley, get a pen and paper. I started shaking. Get a pen and paper, and I write down these songs. So I wrote down 18 songs, and he goes, oh, we're flying you out on Tuesday. It's like, oh. Then he hangs up, and I thought, oh my God. So I had to get all the records, Black Sabbath records, and of course I had the Ozzy records and started to learn stuff. But I can only learn a couple tunes. Come Tuesday, I got a one-way ticket going to New York. I fly to New York. Limo driver picks me up, and I'm at like 11 o'clock at night. And I'm asking him questions, and he's like, I don't know, I'm just a driver. I don't know. What's going on? And he goes, I know they're playing the Madison Square Gardens tonight. I went, oh, wow, that would have been cool. Play there or even go. But I came late, went to the hotel, hung out at the hotel, wait for the entourage to get back. They got in. I get a phone call from Larry McNeely, the road manager, saying, Brad, you got in okay. Come on up to Ozzy's suite. I went, okay. And I went up there, knocked on the door. It was real loud, a lot of music. And I opened the door, and I see a lot of people hanging out. And Larry goes, Brad, how you doing? He goes, everything okay? I said, well, I checked in. He didn't have a room under my name, and it cost me $115, and I only have $35 to my name. So I only had $150 on me, no credit card. Right. He shells out 5 $100 bills. Is this okay? And I went, getting better. Yeah. Right. So I go to meet Ozzy, and he's like, Brad, go get your guitar. Come play for me. I'm making a long story long, right? All right. Anyway, I run down to get my guitar. I come up. I go, I don't have an amp, Ozzy. He goes, just play for me. We walk upstairs to their Sharon and Ozzy's bedroom, and he closes the door, and everybody's watching me walk up, like, oh my God, it's a big audition. So I'm sitting on the end of the bed, and Ozzy's in front of me on the floor with his legs crossed, looking at me. What would you like to play? And I said, let's do Over the Mountain, And so we start playing it, and he starts singing, and I get to the solo, and I play the solo, and he stands up, and he goes, I love you, Brad, pull me through. And I was like, I'm freaking out, right? He opens the door and says, we got a new guitar player, So I walked downstairs, and all these people, all these press people were there, all over me. So basically, I pretty much got the gig. I went on tour. I was watching the shows from the soundboard, watching Bernie up there with a big castle back then, just freaking out, going, oh my God, I'm going to be up here. Anyway, 4 days later, I said, I think I'm ready. And Ozzy didn't even show up for the sound check, and Rudy totally helped me out. Rudy and Don Airy were great, helped me out with stuff on those 4 days. And ended up doing the show that night, and I freaked out, and it was way too much to handle for me, actually. I freaked out, but I got through it. But I screwed up on one song, Revelation, Mother Earth. I went into the fast section too soon. And Ozzy looked over at me like, and I went, oh, I fucked up. And I stopped playing, and everyone still got, da-na-na. So I stopped and got back into it and finished the song out fine. And next night, Sharon goes, you know, Bradley, you're doing a great job, but tonight, don't fuck up. So, but then it got easier and better for me, and then 2 weeks later we did the King Biscuit Flower Hour and light through the nation, and that turned out great. And all of a sudden, then we started to have a good run. You know?
Was there any song that was very was kind of challenging for you to learn and grasp? Were you any changes in it, or maybe the technique where you used one of the songs that stood out? Where you're like, oh, that's a little tricky.
There was
slip up, maybe.
Well, the instrumental that we had to learn. I had to learn at the last minute. I went something like that, then a whole tapping thing. I had to learn that at the last minute. I didn't know that was part of the show, so that threw me for a loop. But I just sat in my room and slowly just learned everything, you know. And of course, I knew the Crazy Trains. And
your intro to Crazy Train was really nice. I watched on that tour for the Speak of the Devil. They made the concert video, and there was the opening you did, and that segment. You know, there's an intro for Crazy Train, which isn't the main riff, but it's that kind of build up live. And yours was really just nasty. You were tearing apart the whammy bar and just like...
Yeah, I did a guitar solo, then into Tommy's drum solo. But, you know, I was getting all the, you know... doing stuff like that. And of course, all my whammy stuff. You know, I was doing all that stuff. Then... You know, I just got in the whammy bar. I didn't want to overplay and do too much whammy bar stuff because I wanted to stick to Randy's solos, which I did, but I had a chance
to incorporate yourself in there a little bit.
To branch out a little bit, you know, and which was fun. But, you know, the whole experience was great. And then towards the end, Quiet Riot got a record deal, and Rudy left to go with Quiet Riot, and then I kind of, you know, felt like Night Ranger got a record deal. I felt like, the Ozzy, there's so much going on, there's so much, you know, pressure going on from the passing of Randy and everything that I thought, you know, I'd been playing with Night Ranger a couple of years, we had a whole record going, and I decided to leave too. I rolled the dice, and we got a record deal with Night Ranger.
We got to talk about that because someone decided to go on Wikipedia and say that the reason why you left Ozzy because you were treated horribly by Ozzy. Because you couldn't get over the death of Brandy. I don't know if that was true or not because it didn't seem like that was the reason why.
I always try to talk about the good things.
Okay, next question. I got a good...
It wasn't horribly. No, there was just, you know, stuff going on, and everybody was going through a lot, and I didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I left, and sure enough, I leave, and then we got a record deal, and we jumped right off of, you know, me playing with Ozzy and releasing our record, and go right out with, you know, touring with Kiss. You know, opening for Kiss. I mean, it wasn't a bad move, and of course, MTV came out, and our videos were all over MTV. Yeah. Didn't lose there, but
no. And then Ozzy got Jakey Lee, and Jakey Lee also was playing a Fernandez. He had a signature Fernandez at one point too.
Yeah.
So you guys were both Fernandez guys around that time too. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah. What are the odds of that? But I would like to go to something else, but I don't know if we're gonna have time because we're really short on time, unfortunately. So we're gonna go right into the Ask Brad questions. Okay, guys, so you guys ready for that? You ask the questions, Brad's going to answer them.
Okay.
Can I get you on retainer to do that, like before every interview we do? Before I ask the questions, you come in here on the side.
I'm trying to warm up a little because I got a gig in a little while.
Okay. The first question is from Dave Davis Quincy Ill. What are the most challenging aspect of learning all those Randy Rhoads solos and licks when you joined Ozzy's band? We kind of went over that a little bit.
Yeah. What the advantage I had was they gave me a live board tape from 2 months before, so I was able to had a cassette player, able to stop it, rewind it with a boombox in my room, sitting on the road to learn everything. And any questions I had, I would go to Don Airy or Rudy, and they would help me out on any intricate parts that I needed to learn, or harmonies and such.
You had a good support system there to help you out too. This one actually comes from CC Shred, a.k.a. Courtney Cox from the Iron Maidens, and she wants to know, do you think that I could ever outdo or one-up your guitar faces live?
No, because I got the ugly stick when I play.
He's the best at it.
Yeah.
This is the man. There's no beating that. So
Yeah.
I'll answer that question. Now, kind of jumping forward a little bit here, you kind of have to. You're going on the road this summer with Sammy Hagar, Whitesnake, and it's going to be Night Ranger.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to do a massive tour. But you got some big news also that may have dropped today, which will be a festival where at?
Swedish Rock Festival opening for Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, so.
Now, unfortunately, we're going to get kicked out of here in about 10 minutes. Just take it over. I'm going to kind of talk over you a little bit. We're going to connect again with Brad. So, sorry for the shorter interview, but we're going to pick it up. Follow us at Masters of Shred. Follow at Brad_Gillis, which may soon be at Brad Gillis Official. Follow me at Mr_Shred_. And we're going to have you on the show again for a podcast, another interview. And we got a lot more to go into, guys. So thanks for watching. Next part 2 will be much bigger. And that's a wrap for Masters of Shred, guys. In the loop.